tip number 1, so tip number 3, then I'm tip number 4, tip number 6, tip number 9. Hey friends, and welcome back to another video. This one's a fun one. So the other day I saw this comment from Alexandria about how do you get work done with so many meetings? And it got me thinking that I've actually accumulated a bunch of cool tips and tricks throughout this past year of working in the pandemic and having sort of like joining and leaving meetings within like 20 seconds of one another, just because everything's remote now and so all my meetings are online. And I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, I got pretty overwhelmed with it. I got pretty drained and meeting fatigue definitely set in. So for today's video, I thought it'd be so fun to kind of take you guys through some tips and tricks that I've picked up over this past year that help me a lot when I have a really crazy busy work day. Now granted, I don't always have a crazy work day, but when I do, these are 10 tips and tricks that I found super helpful to keep me energized, motivated, just not feeling overwhelmed or drained from my day, which is great. By the way, if you guys are new here, hi, I'm Evelyn, nice to meet you. I am a product manager working in tech, right now based out of Seattle, and I make weekly videos here. I try to post every Sunday-ish, sort of, kind of, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm sorry for that, but I make weekly videos here about just what's going on with my life, things I want to share with you guys, any sort of advice that I have and whatnot. So to be honest, not all my work days are this crazy busy as what you're about to hear. I just saw this pop up on my calendar for the next day and I was like, you know what? This would make for a perfect video to show you guys how I just stay energized and productive throughout these sort of crazy work meeting days. So let me quickly run you guys through exactly what my schedule looks like today. I know based on a lot of prior videos, you guys kind of like seeing what sort of meetings I have as a PM, so let me quickly run you through that. So at 9 o'clock, we've got a weekly sync with web feature crew. We've got a 9:30 all hands with my immediate product team. At 11, we have a weekly one-on-one that I always have with my engineering manager. At 11:30, we have our daily stand-up. Then we've got a nice little break at 12 where we will eat some lunch. 12:30, I try not to schedule meetings over lunch. This one sort of happened just because it was an urgent last minute one. We have a sync with our feature crew that I've been working on in the past, so we're wrapping that up. At 1 o'clock, we've got a brown bag. At 2 o'clock, we've got a one-on-one with my manager, bi-weekly one, normal one. 2:30, we've got a weekly sync with a partner team that we've been working with. We've got a nice break at 3. 3:30, we are meeting one-on-one with a partner product manager that I'm working with for the first time, which should be fun. At 4 o'clock, we've got an immediate team meeting about our work with a partner team, so we sort of try to catch up on our end before we meet with that partner team. And at 4:30, we've got a leadership meeting with the same feature crew from the 9 a.m. So it's more of just me listening in case they have questions or anything like that that they need me to chime in about. But yeah, that is what will take us from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and I'm gonna show you guys all the ways that I managed to make it through the day without feeling overwhelmed and just still love my life and love my work. And with that, let's get started with tip number 1 that I have, which is know how you're gonna start your day off the night before. And by this, I don't mean set some sort of grand plan of waking up at 6 a.m. and going on a hike and then meditating and then sitting down at your desk an hour before you start work so you can get all ready and whatnot, which, I mean, if you want that to be your plan, sure. But what I mean by this is set a realistic morning routine for yourself the next day. For example, if you stayed up till 12 last night watching Marvel movies like I did last night, maybe you want to wake up at like 8 instead. But if you slept incredibly early at like 10 p.m., maybe you do want to wake up at 6 o'clock and do all those crazy things to get your morning started. So set realistic expectations for your morning routine, because you will then start off your morning on the right foot. You'll feel like you stuck with your plans, you accomplished something. So don't set yourself up for failure by saying that you're gonna do all these sort of crazy morning routine type things. So for me today, I woke up at around 7:30, went and hit the gym, did some cardio along with some cable machine workouts. And every morning I listen to Robin Hood Snacks, which is a podcast, if you don't know what that is, sort of my morning briefing of tech news, if you will. Everything I need to know for the day, I love it. And after that, I came back, got a shower in, got dressed, and made the jug of coffee that'll last me throughout the day. And really, that's all I did this morning. Okay, I just sat down for my first meeting of the day, which brings me to tip number 2, which is to know just how much focus or how much of your attention your meetings require. I'm pulled into a lot of meetings where I feel like I don't need to 100% be there and be chiming in or whatnot, which allows me to be messaging people back on the side, taking care of smaller to-do items on the side while in those meetings. Of course, like, it really depends on the meeting. I just have some meetings where I know I just sort of need to be listening in, not really actively engaging and talking in them. So that's what this 9 o'clock meeting is. It's sort of one of those where I still have the opportunity to be on the side, be like scheduling meetings or responding to people and things like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. Enjoying my little iced coffee that I always have. I just drink decaf coffee. I honestly just like coffee for the taste. I probably also don't make it right, but I like it, so I make it every morning. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this meeting and I'll check in with you after. That 9 o'clock meeting just wrapped up. It is actually now time for all hands. So all hands is very much recorded. It's also just a one-way broadcast, which means I definitely have my focus freed up a lot more to take care of other stuff. So tip number 3 that I'm gonna give you right now is to know what's coming up in the day. Make sure you look at your calendar beforehand, know if you need to send out any pre-reads. Of course, there are going to be some meetings that you'll probably know ahead of time in like days or weeks to come that will probably require more effort to prepare for, but I like to at least make sure that towards the beginning of the day I take a full look, good hard look at my entire day agenda so that I get a very clear idea of exactly what's to come. That way, you know, if I'm not sure if I'm required in a meeting, I can quickly ping someone so they still have a couple hours to respond. Or if I see someone who's required on a meeting, I sent out to ping them and ask them if they can actually make it so we can get it moved out. I just like to make sure that a lot of the things that are happening day of are actually gonna happen so that you're not rushing 15 minutes before a meeting trying to figure out what the agenda is, if the people can make it, if you even need to make it, or whatnot. But like I said, all hands is very much listening in. So I'm actually gonna go take care of some chores right now after I take a look at my day and get that all wrapped up. So I'm on dishwasher duty this week, so let's go unload that. And then I'm also gonna throw in a load of laundry because I am in desperate need of socks. So let's catch up on a little more work and go do some chores. It is now time for my one-on-one with my engineering manager, which brings me to tip number 4, which is if you can, turn your camera on. It really helps, especially to just stay engaged. People can read your face, you can sort of better interact with them. I feel like this is a pretty obvious trick, but at least what I found for me is being on video helps me not be as inclined to, I don't know, say like pick up a notification if my phone rings or something like that. Like I'm a lot more in the moment and engaging in the meeting itself when I have my camera turned on. So in meetings where they're like one-on-ones or really close-knit meetings, I try to have my camera on, especially if everyone else has their camera on, because otherwise I feel like it is a little awkward. And I always have a fake background on behind me so that I'm not worried at all about like what my room looks like or what's going on behind me. And I feel like that has really helped to take away some of the stress of having your camera on, of like, oh my gosh, are they gonna see what's in my room behind me? Like, is it really messy or are they gonna judge me? So that is tip number 4. Keep your camera on to stay focused and engaged. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this meeting and I have stand up after this, so I will see you guys at lunch. Lunchtime. So for lunch today, I'm actually making a recipe that I make all the time. I think I made this up or probably saw inspiration somewhere, but it is this tofu salad that I always make. It's super quick, super easy. But my tip that I wanted to share here, which is tip number 5, is actually to use your lunchtime as a true way to disconnect from work. So try to actually just not check your messages from work, not be on your work laptop or anything like that. Go have fun, go pick up lunch, go make lunch, whatever it is you want. A trick that I actually picked up from my manager is to schedule yourself as out of office for whatever your lunch window is. And this is great because when your coworkers ping you or whatever it may be, you'll get an automated response that you are out of office for lunch. And this really helps you feel like you can truly disconnect because no one at all is expecting you to reply. So for me, I like to use cooking lunch as a way to disconnect since I'm not just consuming things, media or whatnot. I'm actually physically doing something different. And sometimes I'll make a salad, sometimes I'll make avocado toast. I tend to try to just make the easy things since there isn't too much lunchtime. So quick and easy lunches are my favorite. All right, brown bag time, which brings me to tip number 6. Change up where you work. So for me personally, when I sit at one place and I'm staring at one thing for a very long time, I tend to just get a little bored, not bored. I feel like it gets a little stale. Maybe stale is the right word. So for me, by changing up the environment in which I'm working, like right now, I'm literally just sat on the side in this little chair against the streets. So I'm changing up not only what I hear, but also what I see. Like right now, I see the kitchen, I see the living room, which for me, it's a nice little change of scenery and it makes me feel a little more refreshed as I dive into this next thing. So of course, you guys know I have my monitor. So for instances like this, I'm not gonna carry my monitor around everywhere. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and just split screen on my laptop itself and I'll do the brown bag on one side and then do some work on the other. So the monitor is great for when I actually need to like fully see meeting details and all that all on a big screen. But for, you know, more casual meetings like this, it's fine to just split screen on my laptop. And it really helps. You should try it out. So pick whether it be another couch, whether it be working at, like if you have a kitchen counter island, it's nice to just keep things changing around you, especially since you're just otherwise staring at a computer screen all day and it can start to feel a little stale. I don't know if stale is the right word. I don't know why I'm using that word. The ends of a couch are also the perfect place to work because you can sort of just curl up and boom, it's like perfectly level. It's just nice to keep changing the environment around you, just so you're seeing different things, you're hearing different things. Anyways, let's jump into this. All right, how's everyone doing? It is now 3 o'clock, my first real break besides lunch today, which is awesome, which brings me also to our next tip number 7, which is to have a running to-do list of bite-sized pieces that you can easily pick up. So bite-sized work items that you can just easily pick up and do in these sort of smaller breaks. Or like I said before, if you know you're in a meeting that doesn't require your full attention, that you can sort of chip away at some of your to-do list. And if you've watched my video, I think it's something about like taking notes. I don't know, I'll link it here, there, wherever the links pop up. And in there you'll see that I actually have a OneNote where I keep a running to-do list day by day of things that I just need to get taken care of. So what I'll do during my 30-minute break is just pick up some items off that list and check them off. All right, I've got about 5 minutes left before my next meeting starts. So here's tip number 8, take real breaks from work. Just if you're feeling overwhelmed or whatnot, just go somewhere else, grab your phone, be on it for a few minutes, grab a snack. Right now I've got the cold brew coffee and boba that I picked up from Trader Joe's. So I'm gonna go ahead and just eat this, sit here, enjoy, and feel like I'm taking a real break before diving back into work. Also, if anyone's curious, this is what the ice cream looks like. There's little boba pieces in there. It's pretty, it's not bad. Okay, now back into meetings. So this next one I'm actually taking from my bed, the comfort of my bed, because it is with a partner product manager who I have worked with in the past, and I know that they don't usually turn their cameras on, so I'm not expecting to turn my camera on just because one-way camera for a one-on-one is just kind of awkward. So I'm gonna take it from here just because it's more of a casual chat and I want to be comfortable while I just take some notes on my laptop. But I did want to talk to you guys about tip number 9, which is something that is it our whole company? I don't know if it's our whole company, but at least our team itself has been doing, which is scheduling meetings to start 5 minutes after the hour for 30-minute meetings and then 10 minutes after the hour for hour-long meetings. And this really helps because the 5 minutes in between meetings, if you have back-to-back meetings, is so crucial because like sometimes you just need to go to the bathroom. Sometimes you need to grab some water. It gives you enough time to just do the like walking that you would usually do around the office. So I'd highly recommend, I mean, it's a little hard to do if your whole entire team isn't doing it, but if there is an opportunity for you to push for sort of this 5 minute after, 10 minute after situation, I've found it to be incredibly helpful for me at least. So yeah, that's my word of advice. It's worked out really well for me and I personally just really like it. Anyways, let's get into that meeting and I'll talk to you guys, I guess when I'm jumping into my last meeting. All right, friends, we are officially done with our last meeting of the day, which brings me to the last and final tip number 10, which is to always end the day by looking at the next day, making sure that the next day and the rest of the week, take a quick glance at the rest of the week, take a quick glance at the week after that, just so you mentally know where you're at in the timeline of all the work things you need to do. You never want anything to creep up on you. So that is what I like to do at the very end of the day, is just make sure any meetings I need to schedule get scheduled, any sort of major meetings or anything like that that I see coming up on the calendar that I'm ready for, or at least start scheduling meetings around if I need to do any sort of preparation for them. So that is the end of my day. I'm feeling good so far. Obviously a little tired just from talking to people, but it's been good nonetheless to have meetings like this. And now there are people on the roof who I can actually see. This is awkward. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Anyways, I'll let outro Evelyn say goodbye to y'all. Alright, and that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found it helpful in some way. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to just leave them down in the comments below. Happy to chat with you guys there. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to do my question of the day. All right, I meant to do this new thing, or actually, I guess this video is answering a question. So my question of the day that I'm answering from the comments is the one that actually inspired this video. So that is my question of the day. If you want to be the question that gets answered in the next video, leave questions down in the comments below and I will pick one to be the next question that I answer in the next video. I try to answer some sort of like hard-hitting career, college type question, so feel free to ask me some of those and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't believe we're at 1,000 subscribers. I think this is my first video that I'm posting since hitting 1,000 subscribers, so it's so incredible to have an awesome little community out there on YouTube like this. And yeah, that's really it. Thank you guys for all the support and love, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.